Hey, welcome to the channel. It's Tuesday, and how do I know that? I took the trash out last night, so trash man comes on Tuesday morning. It's a really nice day here. It's a little warm. It's probably about 32 degrees Celsius, and the air quality is about 17. I want to thank everybody that's come into the channel and thank the new subscribers. I appreciate it, and you know, it makes me feel good to know people are watching the videos and getting the enjoyment out of it. Today we're going to try to find a guest house that a lady asked me about, and I can't pronounce it. It's called Hoh Guest House, and it's out on the north end of the moat. So we'll take a walk up there and look around a little bit and see if it's still open. But we're at the northwest corner right now at the first soy. And you know, you can look at the map and see where we're at. But anyway, I'm going to turn the camera around. Today I'm going to tell you about ghost stories. And by the time I'm done with the story, you're going to be convinced that there are ghosts here in Chiang Mai, or in Thailand. I know you think I'm crazy, but bear with me. There's a little alley right there. And by the time I'm done with the story, I've got a couple stories here, and I've got a story from back in the States. But I'll convince you that there are ghosts. But anyway, going back to the story. Back when Lek and I first moved here, back in 2010, we were living in a really, really nice move-on. And we had rented a house, and we were real happy there. But we wanted permanent living conditions here, because we liked it, and you know, we just decided that this was going to be our, you know, kind of our pivot point. We'd stay here and we'd travel around Thailand, but keep our home base here in Chiang Mai. So we started to looking to buy a house. Hello. And you know, we were just going place to place trying to find out where we wanted to live and where we wanted to buy, or whatever we wanted to do. But Lek comes home one day, and she usually went out exercising throughout the Mubon. And she comes back and she says, "Oh, the police are over at a house over 2 or 3 streets down." And I said, "What's going on?" She goes, "Oh, somebody died, or somebody's killed." And you know, ex-detective, I want to go see how they do it. So I ride over there. Really, really nice part of the Mubon. Houses are, you know, relatively new. They'd only added on to that part of the Mubon about maybe a year and a half before. The houses were all brand new. And I get down to right at the end of the cul-de-sac, and sure enough, there's all the rescue people and cops and all kinds of Thai people standing out there looking. And I look in the back of the rescue vehicle, and there's two bodies wrapped up in they wrap them up in white sheets and put them in the back of the truck. So I got there pretty late. And everybody, you know, just coming in and out of the house and stuff. But I went back home, and I was asking Lek what happened. And she says, "Well, as far as I know, from what the people were saying, they got into a fight, and he was jealous about somebody at her work. They weren't married. As far as I could tell, they both had really decent jobs, and they were living in that house together. They probably bought it together. And but anyway, they got into a fight. He strangled her in the front yard with a belt. And this is broad daylight too. And they found her out in the front of the house. And then he went to the back of the house and hung himself. from one of the, I guess, the security bars on the windows or something. I really couldn't figure that out. And, you know, it's really a sad story. We'll make a left here. Wow, this is beautiful wood. It's a really nice area. But he definitely had some issues with, and I read a news article about it a little later on, and apparently he was jealous of somebody that she was working with, and they just got into an argument, and it got out of hand. But hello, how are you? But anyway, I went back home and I told Lek, I said, you know, I'll tell you what we'll do. Hello. We'll go to Big C and buy 2 sheets, cut holes in the eye for eyes, and about 12 o'clock tonight, you know, when it's real dark, we'll put on those sheets on them. We'll go running up and down the street howling. And I said, we'll run home real quick, and then tomorrow morning we'll come back and pick out the house we want, because they're all going to be for sale. And she just kind of laughed and hee-hawed. But the truth of the matter is, and I just went by there the other day. Lek wouldn't let me take a picture of it. She said it was bad luck. So I didn't take any photos or anything like that. But the house is still vacant. Nobody's ever lived in it. It's like school here or something. The house is still vacant. Now, shortly thereafter, Lek was also selling real estate at the time. Shortly thereafter, the guy across the street called Lek over to list his house. He was selling. The house next door sold. And I haven't seen anybody living in it, so I don't know if they didn't sell and they just moved out or whatever. But we went to the next street over, which would have been the house to the back of this house. Both of those houses were empty on either side. Any house that came close to touching it was empty and for sale. And I don't know how long they'd been for sale, but they had built a big wall. They'd raised the wall up between the houses about as high as that you can see off there in the distance. But the houses were still listed for sale, both of them. And you know, so definitely people are leery about stuff like that. And it's a beautiful house, and they were the first people to move into it. And it sat for years and years and years, and the grass had all grown up, and you know, it just really got to be a mess. But it's cleaned up now, and there's the bank is selling it. So they must, nobody wants it. You know, nobody wants to live there. And that's true here. If somebody dies in a house, you'll find a lot of people, they're going to die. They won't let them die in the house. They'll take them to the hospital or someplace like that, because they don't want them dying in the home, because they're leery of ghosts. Now I'm going to tell you another story, and this one really shocked me. I was hello. I was kind of amazed to hear this story. I was taking Thai lessons up at YMCA. This was back in probably, well, it would have been about 2011, 2012. And I had one teacher that I had taken 4 courses with. She was really good and very intelligent, well educated, presented the classes real good. Hello.
Are you the guy I see on YouTube all the time?
That's me.
You're my friend.
How you doing? Nice to meet you.
My name's David. Yeah.
I'm Bill.
Hi, Bill. I appreciate you.
You don't care to be on the channel, do you?
I'm fine.
Great. You'll be on probably tonight or tomorrow night.
I love your stuff, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I live deep in the south.
Where you live?
At the beach in Nakhon Tambarat.
Oh, way out
But
there.
I watch all your stuff and get to walk all through the city.
Great.
Because I used to live here. So
Yeah.
that's brilliant, Bill.
Great. Yeah, excellent. I'm glad I can help you.
Yeah, man, it's great fun. I appreciate it. You get to take a walk all
Yeah,
around.
get my exercise.
Yeah, and I read that you have many people like commenting from around the world.
Pretty
right?
much, yeah. People all over the place see me, so. I can't walk around the city without somebody recognizing me. I don't care though. I'm not doing anything wrong.
No, of course, you're doing great stuff. Man.
Thanks, man.
As
Enjoy
soon as
your.
I saw you, I know that guy.
Enjoy your ride, man. Okay. Oh, that's cool. But okay, now back to the story. She was very intelligent. She was very well educated. Spoke perfect English, and she taught Thai very well. She was a really good teacher. She couldn't teach me how to speak Thai, but you know, that's neither here nor there. She tried real hard. But anyway, we're in class one day, and we're kind of asking questions and, you know, kind of talking and stuff. It was very, very informal. And just for the heck of it, and you could try this yourself if you know somebody, ask them if they believe in ghosts and see what they tell you. And I asked her, I said, do you believe in ghosts? Because we were talking about different stuff in the class, and we had just completely got off the track of learning how to speak Thai. And she looks at me and she goes, oh yeah. And I mean, she wasn't kidding. And I was kind of set back. I was, a little shocked there. And I think we'll go left here. There's a good vegetarian restaurant right there called Good Souls. And I've ate there a couple times. I'm not much of a vegetarian eater, but they have good meals there, good breakfasts too. All right, well, back to the story again. And I was kind of set back. I was kind of shocked, because she didn't seem to be the type of person that would, be skeptical or superstitious or anything like that. She was real level-headed. And she just looked me right dead in the eye and said, oh yeah, I believe in ghosts. And I said, have you ever seen one? And again, she looks me dead in the eye and she's, yes, I have. And I said, oh God, I got to hear this story. So I said, tell me about it. And so I'm just as serious as day. Tells me she was coming home from work late one night, and she had to come down Canal Road. She didn't live that far from me. I don't know where she lived, but we lived pretty much in the same neighborhood. And she came to the intersection of Canal Road and where Canal Road and 121 intersect there, right at Samong Road. And she said, I came up to the intersection, and she said it was about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And there was a funeral procession coming up Canal Road. And I could see them. They were pushing the cart, and, the body was on the cart. There was a bunch of people pulling it. And it's as plain as day. It was real. It was, and the people, she said the people were kind of, you could kind of see right through them. And I'm listening to this, and she is dead serious. I mean, if I knew how to get a hold of her, I would get her, and if I ever do run into her or something, I'm going to get her to tell it on camera, because it's just, I can't tell it the way she told it. But anyway, she said, yeah. She said, I saw it, and I slowed down, and I was looking. And in the front of these processions, the first person that you come up to is pushing a picture. And sometimes it's a small picture, sometimes it's almost a life-size picture, big picture of their face. And there's flowers all around it, and they're pushing it on wheels in front of the procession. And the people behind it are pulling the ropes to pull the coffin. And she goes, I went by and I was looking at the picture, and the lady's eyes were following me as I drove by. And I just freaked out. I couldn't keep a straight face. I just busted up. And she was dead serious. I was amazed. So I wasn't going to argue with her because, I mean, there's just some things that you don't question people about, and that was one of them. But I was just amazed. Now, my wife will tell me that she doesn't believe in ghosts. But if I pull into a crematory late at night on the motorbike, she's clawing my back. You know, get out of here, get out of here, get out of here. So if you ask one of them, they might not admit it, they might. It's hard to tell. And, you know, I'm sure there's some foreigners that believe them. I believe ghosts. And when I'm done with the story, I'll tell you where they're at. But there are definitely ghosts. The other story I'm going to tell you comes from the United States. And it's 100% true. It happened to me. I say it happened to me. I came up on it. I can't say that I saw anything supernatural or anything like that, but a lot of times when I was a detective, I'd get out at night and kind of run the roads in my car. And a lot of times, you know, I'd be looking for somebody or just trying to see what's going on after dark. This particular night, it was about, hello, that's a really neat place right there. It's like a coffee shop or something. Let's get around the front. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I'll bet. I don't know, got a lot of plants. And you got this cute little old doggy here. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. You don't want to pay no attention to me. Well, keep walking. But anyway, this particular night, I was out and I heard a call came over the radio. Unknown disturbance at a house. And it was in a neighborhood that I knew. And I pretty much knew where the house was as well because it was on the top of a big ridge. It was the last house on the street. Here's another place. It was the last house on the street, and it was on the top of the, I'm going to say mountain, but it was really actually a ridge. But it was high. I mean, I had to put my car in low gear to get up the hill. Yeah, okay, this is the guest house. And it looks like it's shut down. I don't see any activity here. I'm going to shut the camera off for a minute and I'll retake my pictures. And I'll restart the story after I try to reach somebody here. Okay, I just talked to the guy. And they are closed right now, but they do plan on reopening, but he won't tell me. He doesn't know exactly when. So there's your answer. Now, I think I'm going to walk this way. No, I don't know if I can get through there. I think I can. Let me see. But anyway, back to the story. The call came in as a disturbance, and when you get unknown disturbance, and when you get those kind of calls, you never know what they are. And I didn't get the call. One of the patrol officers did, but I wasn't too far away, so I figured, well, I'll swing in there and check it out and see what's going on. So I drive through. You have to drive through a subdivision, and then at the back of the subdivision is the road that goes up the hill to the top of the ridge. And you pass maybe one or two houses on either side, and then it's a long stretch of woods on the left and the right side of the road. And the house, when you come out on the road, there's a little cul-de-sac, a little circle, and the house is in the center of the cul-de-sac. So I pull up, big house, nice house too. And I'm kind of looking around, and there were some people milling around by the door. So I go up to the door, and it was a husband, his wife, and 3 kids, probably, I'm going to put their ages as probably 5. Another one was probably about 8 or 9, and the other one was about 14 years old, and the wife. And they just swarmed me when I get to the door. Said, "We're not staying in this house another night." And I said, what's going on? She goes, "Well, we just rented this house 2 days ago from a lady in Chattanooga. We spent last night and tonight in the house." And I said, "What's wrong?" And they said, "We're sleeping, the dryer starts up, the cabinets start opening up, we can hear doors shutting and closing, opening and closing all night. And the lights flicker on and off." And I'm thinking, yeah, right, you know. I'm thinking, well, you know, they're seeing something and they got a little bit spooked, and they're you know, just not thinking too clearly. And I think I'm gonna walk down this way. I have no idea what's down here. I don't believe I've been down this little alleyway here. Maybe I have, I don't know. But it gave me away from the traffic. I can finish the story. But they're telling me all this stuff, and it's some pretty bizarre stuff. They said they came home one day and all their clothes were hung up. They had been in the dryer, and they're all hung up on hangers. Another time, they said they were washing some tennis shoes, and they were in the house, and the next thing you know, the tennis shoes. Okay, we just had a battery go dead, so we changed batteries. But they said they came in the room, and the tennis shoes were out of the washing machine. Now this is a top load washing machine, and laying on the floor soaking wet. And none of them had moved it. Wow, I don't think I've walked down here before. And this was their second night in the house. And I started thinking, this is, you know, this something ain't right here. And they all had their bags packed. They weren't spending another night in the house. And about that time, we're at the front door, and there was kind of like a hallway. And about that time, this older lady, about probably, she's probably in her 70s, come busting through, knocking them to the side with her suitcases. And I'm standing there, and she looks at me, and she goes, "I'm not spending another night in this house." And it was the grandma. And she busted past me and out the door. She was gone. And I thought, wow, that's something. Whoa, there's a little, I don't know if I can get through here either way. Might run up on a snake back here. Yeah, I'm not going that way. I could go this way, see where this comes out. And watch out for snakes. But yeah, she was gone. And I got to talking to the husband. And I asked him, I said, "What are you paying for rent a month here?" I said, "I'd, you know, talk to the landlord and, you know, see what she says." And he says he's paying $200 a month for the house. And she's living in a condo 20 kilometers south of here, paying about $750 a month. And I said, something's funny here. So I walked around the house, and I got to the electrical meter. And, you know, anytime they change a meter, those meters have little snaps on the bottom of them that the electric guy has to cut that off to change the meter. And I looked down at my feet, and there were 7 of them laying there on the floor, you know, on the ground underneath the meter. So I thought, there's something weird here, you know. And I never found anything else out about the house. I have no clue where I'm at here. Okay, I know where we're at. That other road would have taken me right here. I think I'll walk this way, and then I'll go left, and I'll take another road to the right. I didn't map this on Strava, so I may have a hard time showing you where we're at. I'll do my best. But yeah, they were gone. And the house stayed empty for quite a long time because, you know, during the day when I didn't have anything to do, I'd run up the hill there and I'd look to see what was going on at the house. Because they had left. They got in their car and gone. They weren't coming back. They didn't have any qualms about it. And it was back 2007, 2008 that I was back on patrol, and I used to slide up there, and somebody had moved into the house and they had built a fence all the way around the property like this, but it was that privacy fence that you couldn't see in. I mean, all around the front of the property, and there were two wooden gates that you had to open up to get the car in. I'll let these guys get by me. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, there's an old Langlia sitting over there. So I don't know. You know, I had asked a few people, and they told me that there used to be an old Indian graveyard up there. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. We never got any more calls up there that I know of. And when I went back to patrol, that was basically my area. So I don't know what the deal was, but those people were convinced that there were ghosts in that house. Absolutely convinced. And they weren't druggies. They weren't, they weren't crazy people, I guess. I'm going to say that, but I'm going to cross the street here because I've got to turn right here somewhere. They didn't seem to be crazy people. Let's put it this way. I mean, could they convince me that there were ghosts in that house? Based on, I don't know. But I know what they thought, and it's kind of bizarre. And I'm going to tell one story on me. I don't know how long I've been online, or how long this video is, but I'll tell the story on me. I had gone to Florida to pick up a drug dog, and when I got down to Florida and went to the school that was selling us the dog wasn't anything that I felt comfortable with. And I stayed for 2 days. I was supposed to stay for a week. I stayed for 2 days, and I jumped in my car and came back home. And it's about a 14-hour drive, I guess, somewhere in there. And I drove straight through because I just wanted to get home. It was on a Friday morning. And I'm driving out to my house, and it's at night by this time. I left early in the morning, and it was probably about 9, 10 o'clock at night. And I'm driving out the 4-lane to turn off to my house. And I look over to the left, and I see a bunch of blue lights, and at this house that I'm gonna wait till I get around the corner. Yeah, I think we'll turn right here. There we go. But I see a bunch of flashing lights, and I happen to notice that one of our detective cars were there. And I think there was an ambulance there too. So when I got home, I had probably about a 7-minute drive to get home. I made the mistake of calling in, and sure enough, we'd had a homicide there. And this guy, the guy that lived in this, it was a little shack. Damn it. Excuse my French. There was a guy there, and this guy was a monster. He was probably about 6'7", 6'8", 45, 50 years old. Always wore, he was the size of Hulk Hogan, and he was mean too. The guy was mean. It didn't surprise me that somebody popped a cap on him. But he always wore coveralls, no shirt, and probably didn't have any underwear on either. That's kind of the way they were in these big construction boots. And I'm not intimidated by very many people. As a matter of fact, I can't think of anybody that really did intimidate me. But with him, just his demeanor and his stature was intimidating. And he had a reputation too that he'd clock your head as well. And you know, if we ever went over to talk to him, there was always two of us, and you know, we came prepared. But anyway, he had met his fate there in that house. He'd been shot twice in the chest with a .357 at close range. And you know, to make a long story short, we had a pretty good lead on who it was. Some kid had been buying and selling stolen property to him, and the kid got caught, and he was trying to get some of the property back. And he went to him to try to get some of the property back, and they got in a fight, and he ended up popping him 2 times. So we knew who we were looking for, and we chased this kid all night. He was just one step in front of us every place we went. And we finally, there's the lumya tree. Okay, sorry, we had another battery overheat. I'm on battery number 3, and if it goes out again, I'll have to finish the story in the car. But anyway, we chased this kid all night, and we finally caught him in a small city in the next county over and took him in. And he was with about 3 other people, and we had to sit there. It was probably about 5 o'clock in the morning. Now, granted, I'm 24 hours plus, probably about 26 hours, no sleep. And we interview them and process the clothes and take statements from them. And basically what the kid said, he went over there and just started talking to the guy. The guy made a lunge for him, which didn't surprise me. And he pulled out a .357 and shot him twice in the chest. So, you know, pretty much what we assumed happened. And I don't even think we convicted the kid of second-degree murder. I think he was convicted of manslaughter. And this same kid went on to kill somebody else after he got out of prison. And that time we got him on first-degree murder, the second time. But anyway, back to the story. We finish up the interviews, and we're all standing there, and my captain's kind of looking at me funny. And my captain was probably my best friend too. I don't say probably, he definitely was my best friend in law enforcement. And he looks over at me kind of smiling, and he says, "I need you to do me a favor." And I said, "Oh yeah, hey, no problem, you know." And he says, "I need you to go to the morgue." They had already done the autopsy on this guy, but we were so busy we didn't have anybody to send to you know, witness the autopsy. So he says, "I need you to," hello. He said, "I need you to go over there and fingerprint the guy." No big deal. I've fingerprinted a lot of dead people. I've fingerprinted them in funeral homes sitting in caskets. No big deal. Been in the morgue a bunch of times, and the morgue at the hospital was on the bottom floor in the basement. And they had these big freezers, and they'd keep the bodies in, and the room was small. It just had a table in it and some shelves, you know, along the edges, and some cabinets where the doctor would keep his stuff. And when I walked in, I got the nurse to call the head nurse down. She unlocked the door for me, and I walked in, and he's laying on the table, and you know, just a monster guy, monster. And they had already sewed him back up. And I looked on the counter, and there's the doctor would use a kitchen knife sometimes, and there was the kitchen knife laying there on the side of the counter, and you know, he hadn't cleaned it or anything. He'd been called out early in the morning. But anyway, I get my little kit out, and which consists of fingerprint card, fingerprint ink, and we used a spoon. And what you would do is you'd put your card on the on the spoon, and then you'd press the finger in as far as you could, and the shape of the spoon would get the edges of the fingerprint. So I'm getting all my stuff out, and I'm tired. I mean, I've been up since 4 or 5 o'clock the day before, and I'm standing there and getting my stuff ready, and I hear ka-choo, and there ain't nobody in that room but me, just me. And I'm thinking, what in the hell was that? And I turned around, I looked, and he's just laying there lifeless, and nothing in that room's gonna make a noise. Scared me. I mean, I come up probably 3 feet off the ground at least, and there was right outside the door was a telephone. So I opened up the door and I got on the telephone. I called my boss. I said, "You get somebody up here with me." I said, "I need some help. I can't twist his fingers. He's too big." I made some excuse. My boss said, "Oh, sure, I'll send one of the reserves up with you." Sure enough, I stood outside. I wouldn't go back in. I just, just eerie feeling. And finally, the reserve shows back up, and we go back inside, and we're sitting there and rolling his fingers in the spoon, and there it happens again. Well, what it was they put you on this table, and it's got a drain in the middle of it, and when the fluids fill the drain up in the bottom of the pan, there's a sump pump that sucks it up. So that's what I heard. But it scared the hell out of me. And so do I believe in ghosts? I don't know. Hard to say. Hello, can I video you? Video? Oh, she's sewing some pants up. Yeah. Yeah. We're just south of the northwest corner, about maybe 100 meters. So if you need some pants fixed, come to this lady. She's right on the corner. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. And that's what it was. And it was the pump. But it scared hell out of me. I don't know I think part of it was the fact that I was tired, and the other part was the fact that this guy was very intimidating. I can't describe it. And the funny thing was, about probably 2 or 3 years later, hello, we're doing a search warrant for stolen property 2 counties over from where we had been, where we lived. And I'm searching the drawers. These 2 guys live there, and I'm searching the drawers, and I pull out this picture. And it was a picture of that guy laid out in the funeral home on a table, completely, before they had dressed him or anything. And I recognized him right off I saw the picture, I knew who it was. And it's something that you would not normally see. And I grabbed the picture and I went to the 2 guys. I said, "Where'd you get this?" And they kind of looked at each other and kind of shook their head. They wouldn't tell me. And I took the picture back to the funeral home because it was taken inside the funeral home. And the funeral home director looked at it. He said, "Yeah, that's our room that we put him in before we dress him." And he says, "How anybody got in there and took a picture, I have no clue." So nobody seemed to know what was going on, and I had the picture, so we just kind of dropped it. But it was kind of odd seeing him after all those years that he had spooked me. He gets to spook me one last time. Whew. Well, we're close to the car. Now, I told you when I started this video, I'd prove that there are ghosts. And I'm going to show you where they are. They're right here in your head. And there's definitely ghosts in Thailand, but they're all upstairs. I appreciate y'all stopping in. I hope you enjoyed the little story, and I'm gonna go find some air conditioning and something to eat because it's hotter than heck. And we'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.